All right, that's neat. I don't think we need to do anything else. I think I might add a delay or something. Yeah. All right, so
kind of fun.
We've got this thing isolated to just these tops. We can do some cool stuff with the delay. Right now it's in stereo, but let's do a ping pong. And then we can.
I like that.
Yeah, it's nice. We can add a freeze effect too, so it'll like save it. It's a granular thing.
Sounds cool as fuck, actually.
Yeah, it froze it. What does this button do?
Oh. It makes it creepy.
What the fuck?
You unleash the whales.
Anyway, so I got lost in the sauce there for a minute, just fucking around with the plugin. That is exactly how sometimes this stuff works. Like, I've been in the studio with guys that are much more well known than I am, and a lot of the stuff that they create just arises out of dicking around. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like exploring what a plugin does.
Oh, 100%.
100%. Like so messing around with the knobs, you know, like exactly like I was just doing is you know, like, all right, so let's sample that. So let me show you how to do that. Right, so let's say you're playing around with something and like a cool noise like that happens and you're like, well, I wish I could put that noise in the song. Here's how you do that. So we've got right now soloed the hybrid sound that we're messing with, right? This track is soloed. If we go to the very end here, we can hit the record button up here at the top next to the play button. And then we have to press spacebar and it'll just start recording, okay? Whatever track is armed. Now currently, the track that is armed is our snare track. We don't want that. So let's click this track to arm and turn the snare track off. That's your basic how does recording work in pretty much any DAW, Sean. Does that make sense? So like this button is like what is about to be recorded, right? Because we could record every track at once. If there was a whole band,
makes sense.
Right? If there's a whole band playing or a whole drum kit, we want to record all the mics. But right now, we just want this sound to be isolated. It is isolated. It's soloed. It's armed. So now if we press play, it's just going to start recording what we're doing. I'm going to turn the loop off just to make sure it doesn't do something stupid like start us back at 1. All right. Here we go. So it gave us a count in. All right, this is not going to work like I thought because we have to have the sound play in order to get the feedback. Okay, change of plans. We're going to add a new track below this track by selecting it and then pressing Control-Shift-T for audio track. Right, Control-T is instrument, Control-Shift-T is audio. Now, we can turn the loop back on. We need this to happen in order to get that effect. And on audio 2, we can tell it to be armed, and we can tell it to record what's happening in this track. So here's how we do that. Right now, it's input right over here in the inspector. If you go down here, it says stereo in 1. If we change that to not drums, and then this track, and again we're going for post. Now its source or what it's recording is that track, if that makes sense.
Happy.
Right. So let's start recording from that track and see what happens. So it's armed. I'm going to make sure that I've got my mouse over here on the mix knob ready to go. All right, you get the point. So we've stopped it. I'm going to unsolo this. I'm actually going to mute this track now because it's creating a bunch of just like irrelevant noise. So now we've got what we just did on that last track recorded here into a clip. So everybody saw that happening, right? So as it loops around, excuse me, it just keeps recording. And if we double click this, you can actually see that there's different colors here, which is kind of interesting. So what happened, right? Let me explain.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Every time it loops, right? Every time we go around this loop brace, let's say you're recording a guitar part or you're recording a drum lick and like you're like, okay, I'm just gonna hit record and start playing and wait until I like play it through perfectly. Every time it goes through and loops, it adds another track down here called a take. So this is the first time it looped, this is the second time it looped, this is the third time it looped, and this is the fourth time it looped. Does that make sense? And you can click down here on any of these that you like. Like let's say you like the first part of take 1, you can do that. And you like the second part of take 2, you can do that. And this view up here is what's shown in the clip. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. So if you're having a hard time like me,
That's
like
really cool though.
It's really cool. Like so I'm not very good at guitar. Like I'm okay. But I'll play the same thing over and over again like 30 times through and I'm like, okay, I like this part. I like this part of take 3. I just add that up there. I like this part of take 1. I can add that up there. And you can just keep splitting it up like that. Like, so this is a really cool way to make iterative, experimental ambient music because you can just keep like choosing the takes you like. And so like now, like check this out. If I play through this now, I'm going to solo this little track that we've created. It's going to have a part of take 4, take 2, take 3, take 1, take 2 again. You know what I'm saying? Like, check this out. And we want to go back to this for a second. We'll go there. And back to here. And whether or not that makes any sense in the song, I have no idea. But it's it's a cool way to like grab material real quick. So I think what we should do is this. Let's deactivate this hybrid trailer thing now that we've iterated and generated some new material, right? To do that, you select the track and click this active button that looks like a computer chip. And what that does, the benefit of deactivating a track is it mutes it, first of all. Second of all, it turns off all the plugins on that track and frees up some of your CPU. So if you've got a really huge project like some of mine turn into, that can be a great way to free up some CPU and keep writing music. When I deactivate a track, I like to color it either gray or white, just to let me know quickly that it's deactivated. That helps you see it and not mess with it and not be distracted. So let's call this our generated noise, right? Now we've just got this generated noise in the background here, and we can adjust its mix. So back to the full track here. It adds some cool texture kind of in certain spots.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think here we should change it so that it's like stretched out a little bit. What I'm going to do is actually, instead of doing that, let me do what I was just doing and show you how to edit that in this view, because that's what we were just talking about. So I'm going to take this back to here. I'm just looking. I'm looking up at the section above, like this. Like that. And then what I'm going to do is click here, cut it with Control E, and then duplicate it like that. All right, now there's some low frequency in there that's eating a bit of our headroom, so let's press Control D to bring this up. Let's press B to open the browser, and then we're going to add an EQ5, and I'm just going to put a low shelf on this, or actually a low cut, so that would be a high pass 4-pole. There we go. And we'll have its cutover be like 120 or so. All right. Now, if I don't want to do this every time, like I do this operation a lot, where I'll add a high pass to a track just to remove any bass that might interfere with what we're going to be doing later with the kick and stuff. I can right-click this and save preset to library, or I could save as default, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I don't know why I haven't saved my EQ file like this already, but I'm going to do that right now. So save as default, which means that next time I add an EQ5 by pressing B and typing in EQ, it'll automatically have that high pass in there, which is great. I use that all the time. So just a little time saver, a little nugget.
Nuggies.
Little nuggies. Let's make sure this track also has a low cut on it. It doesn't, so I'm going to add that. So B for browser, EQ. Whoops. Oh, I see what happened here. So when you have a plugin selected and you press B, it opens the preset folder. That's not what I want. I want to go here. There we go. All right. All right. Let me adjust this kick. It needs to be louder. Actually, I think it just needs to be different all around. So take.
No, I agree. It needs more slap.
Yeah. So let's turn.
It needs less of that. Needs less of that pop at the beginning, though.
Yeah, yeah. Let's take a listen to it. All right, so I took off the vocoder, which was adding that like shimmer around it. Like you hear this sound?
Yeah.
I just turned that off.
I got that.
Now it's just like a more round kick with a little bit of compression on it. So that satisfies me more. I want to adjust the snare as well. I want it to be shorter. So let's get these drums sounding good. Let's tighten this mix up. I want to make sure it's in tune with the line. Yep. Let's turn the decay down so it's shorter.
A lot better already.
Cool. I'm okay with that. All right, these hats. So you added a pitch shifter plugin. Cool. That's what's adding that artifacting. Like it sounds kind of like grainy, you know, kind of like
yeah.
That's cool. I wonder what happens if we turn it off. I like it better with it on, yeah. All right, I'm gonna fuck around with this and see what happens.
That's really what it was. I was just fucking around with the plugins at this point. I forgot.
Oh, look at that.
That's kind of crazy.
All right, I want to automate that. So this grain right here is obviously like the size of the grain that it's sampling. And grain just means like a microsample. So let's turn on the automation for this. Let's add an automation lane. And when you click that, you're like, okay, where did you add it? You know, like what the fuck? Automation is a little confusing in Bitwig. You can use A to open up the automation menu. So like here, I could add automation, but that to me doesn't make sense because I'm coming from Ableton. I'm used to seeing automation in the arrangement view. So like I'm used to seeing it up here where the notes are. And you can do that. So there's this little hamburger menu on every single track next to the fader. And if you press that, it'll show you whatever track you just automated, and it'll give you the option to start automating here. So I like to do automation this way. Some people I know that do like modular music will do it by track and actually use the automation sub-screen down here. I'm not going to do that for this video series because, again, I'm kind of used to Ableton, and I think a lot of my audience is too. So we'll just add this here, and we'll automate this. Like, let's say, like just at the very end here, we'll have it like go down and do something crazy. Yeah. You can hold Alt and drag to make an exponential curve like this. Too much. Too much. That's nice. Then what we can do is use our selection tool, which is tool number 2. And then we can highlight this, Control D, and we can duplicate the automation. Make sense?
That it does.
All right. So here's our new improved groove. All right. I don't like it on the first part because it gets in the way of the cool stuff that's happening with these toms. So let's just have it happen on the second half of the phrase. Let's look at these toms that you created. I like these. Also, this open hat needs to be a little bit louder so we can hear it more clearly. This is a cool little extra.
Agreed.
It's very much panned left. Let's see here. Can we adjust that? You've added vocoder, which is cool, and a crazy EQ.
Yeah, that was just me fucking around with
I like it. Okay. I'm all about it. So let's put this in.
Well,
Go ahead.
the
What?
open hat, it was hard to get the open hat to match the closed hat sound. That was the issue with it.
Listen, man, it works.
And
Again,
it does, I guess.
if it sounds good, it is good. Let's
There
add.
you go.
Let's add mid-side split, which is a plug-in here. And maybe we'll just need to increase the mid and turn the side down to make it more of like a centered signal, because right now it's like very much panned to the left. Huh. So more mids, less side. Cool. Yeah, it's more present now. All right, what's going on with these? What's going on with these toms? These are way cool. So we have two tracks here, E-tom, and I think they're playing like a triplet melody, yeah. Da-da-da-da-da.
It basically is triplet melody.
Okay, I like it. I want them to be more distinct. So let's take the decay and turn it down. And you've got them tuned separately. That's why you've got two tracks, right? So da-da. Yeah. So I like that. And now we can adjust both of them separately. So let's take the decay on the top ones and have it be super short. And we'll automate the decay on the second track to like open up. So let's add automation lane. Click our hamburger menu. Like this. Nice. Would you be opposed to automating the tune?
No, not at all.
All right, so up to the first one here. Add automation lane. We're going to open our hamburger menu for the tuner. And we're going to go like the.
I didn't know that was a thing last week. This probably would have done.
Yeah, it's all good. Tuning, right here it is. Too high. I feel like there's a filter. Oh, there is a filter. Okay, so anytime you see a little curve like this, that's usually a filter. Let's go ahead and just open that all the way up. There we go. Cool. Now the second one, let's open the filter up again and automate the tuning. Oscillator tuning. All right, let's listen to it in context. I like it, but they need to both be louder. So there's a couple ways we can address that. I'm going to close the hamburger menus. We can select both tracks, and with both of them selected, take our mouse over here to the inspector, and we can hold and drag, and it'll adjust both tracks together, right? If they're on different slider positions starting out, then it will adjust them accordingly. So if like one of them's at -2 and one of them's at 0, if we move it 10 decibels up, one of them will be at 8 and the other one will be at 10. Does that make sense?
It does.
All right, so let's just bring them up maybe halfway to like -5 decibels. Oops.
All caps.
That's right. Let's add a distortion or something to them. How about overdrive? Overdriven split. What's that? Cool. I don't even know what this is.
Oh. Alrighty.
Cool. What time is it? 9:30? Alright, let's do one more thing to this track before we call it a night. Let's add like a sub line. So, right now we've got ourselves a pretty cool lo-fi beat happening. We got some trippy effects. We've been over how to manipulate audio. We've been over how to manipulate MIDI. We've been over how to record. We've been over how to drag things from other projects. Like, we've been over a lot of shit so far in the series. Let's bring in a little bit of sub. So this is going to go under not drums. This is going to be a MIDI instrument. So that'll be Control T for track. All right, we've got it here. Let's rename it so we know what we're talking about. Sub. I'm going to use one of the plugins that it's native to Bitwig. I don't know which one I'm going to use, but we're going to use one of them. There we go. So let's see here. This will be an instrument. What's one they're always bragging about? You choose, Sean. One of these guys. Organ, Phase 4, Polygrid, whichever one of these you want to use.
Polysynth.
Polysynth, okay. Here we go. Alright, so let's press F1. Oh, fat. So you can turn things on and off by section. Alright, so this section. Alright, that's our filter. Cool. Alright. This is shaping amount? Okay. Well, it's off, so... Oh, soft clipping. Oh, hell yeah. That's what we need for a sub, for sure. Alright. Filter key tracking. I don't know if we need that right now. Envelope depth. That's not something we need right now. Alright, so let's go to oscillator 1. The pitch, we'll leave that alone. There we go. Oh, cool. Alright, so right now it's a sawtooth. Wonder if we can change it. No, it's either a pulse width or a saw. We don't have the option to make a sign here. I don't think this is gonna work well for our sub if we're going for tipper because of
Copy that. Let's just switch out. I've never played with it.
Let's try a different one. Whoops. Let's try, I'm gonna choose this time. Let's try polymer.
That was my next one.
Yeah.
There we go.
Alright. Rather than go through this whole rigmarole here trying to learn the synth, let's just browse through the presets and see if we find one we like.
I'm good with that. E3000.
Yeah, it's very cool. Man, they've got some pretty fucking dubsteppy basses in here, man.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Bitwig, brought to you by Skrillex.
No kidding. This thing's pretty neat, man. There we go. Sine bass.
Yeah,
Perfect.
sine bass.
That's what we need. That was great. I'm gonna add overdrive split again because we had that on there earlier. It sounded really cool. So right now we've got I'm soloing the not drums.
You should have a drop right there, like a fade in almost at the beginning.
So you want to have like a I'm gonna just write some stuff in here.
You.
Yeah.
But then have the sub just ride out from there, just kind of delay off.
I don't know if that's gonna work or not, but we'll try it. Adding a pitch drop would be easier to do with the pitch shifter plugin that you discovered. So let's get that in there. And we'll automate that. So we'll add an automation lane here. Pitch shift. I'm gonna zoom in so I can get down to like the clip level here and actually like see what I'm manipulating. And it snaps to grid. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
That's doing some fucking weird shit. Do you hear that?
I do. Is it the grain?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna put it back to 0 here though. I like that. Alright, I'm gonna add an EQ at the end of this. Turn this off. But I want this one to be a low pass. With a cue like this, like. Alright, so I'm going to automate that obviously. So right click, add automation lane. That's kind of a hot mess, but you know, we can edit that next time.
And 4 on that.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to these episodes. You want to do a sign off, Sean? Or should we have a sign off, or should we just be like later? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. What if we just like cut the episode off and didn't have a sign off?
What if we just never did it?